Hey there everyone, this is James with Linspiration, a wholesome place to learn and grow and share all things photography. Today I wanted to talk about how to harness lens flare in such a way that it creates a beautiful effect. Now normally with lens flare, if you're using like a wide angle lens like this, you'll get some pretty, it usually distracts from the image and creates these weird patterns and flares all across your image. However, what we want to do is we want to harness the lens flare. Now, we will also very often use something like this, a lens hood, to block the light from entering into the lens at an angle, which is what causes the lens flare. However, we don't want to use that because what we want to do is we want to create this glowing effect. And using a wide angle lens, it's difficult for that glowing effect to happen because the sun is usually, and the light source is usually very small. However, whenever I use a telephoto lens, like I've got right here, I've got my telephoto lens on, that will allow the lens flare to cover the entire image, thus creating a hazy effect, a lower contrast, or a glowing effect over the image. Now, when you zoom in, the light is still entering the lens, so the camera still has to be pointed toward the light, in the direction of the light, so you kind of have backlighting. But you're zooming in, and so now that reflection is much larger and is kind of covering the entire frame. So that's the concept. And then the other thing you want to keep in mind is the aperture. Usually, if you want a nice glowing effect, you want to have a very wide aperture, so like a f4.0 if your lens can go that low, or 2.8, something like that. That allows the focus, the plane of focus to be very shallow, and you'll have very little of your image in focus, thus making the rest of the image blurry, which adds to the glowing kind of soft effect that you're going for. And then last of all, trying to incorporate direct light into the scene. So if it's a bright sunny day like it is today, then I probably won't point the camera directly at the sun, but including some of the sky and exposing for the foreground will cause the sky to go pure white in the background. And then whatever amount of sky is visible in the frame will kind of make it very white and glowing back in the background as you're looking at the subject that's well exposed in the foreground. Or blocking the sun partially, doing something to include as much bright light as you possibly can in the frame. That's what I'm going for, using a telephoto lens and a very wide aperture.